Hi everybody, this is SAAD. Question for you to ponder. What do cults, religions, and political/ideological tribes have in common? Any thoughts? Well, they all do one thing really well, and that is to create very clear demarcations between us and them. In other words, they all piggyback on our innate coalitional psychology, blue team, red team. Of course, cults are notorious for doing that. One of the things that they do when they get a hold of your mind is that they try to split you from the outside world, even from your family. Now, some people, of course, think that Scientology is a religion. Others think that it's a cult, and even legally that discussion has been had. Of course, the main difference between a cult and a religion is how successful it's been over time. If a set of insane beliefs lasts long enough, then it becomes a noble religion. But if it is something that is only 20 years old, well, then it's a cult. But in any case, excuse me, what cults do is that they try to distance you from any sources that might alter or that might mitigate the brainwashing. Of course, the contents of religions do that as well. Certainly, Abrahamic religions, there are the ones who believe in Jesus and are going to sit with him at the grand table in heaven, and the rest who are going to go to hell. For Jews, there are of course, the Jews and the goy, the Gentiles. Just walk in a neighborhood here in Montreal and Outremont, you see tons of Hasidic Jews. They almost never seem to interact with anybody who's not part of their community. So even though they exist within a greater context, you'd be hard-pressed to ever see them building any social relationships, friendships with those who don't share their religiosity. Let's look at the Quran. And this is straight from Quran.com, Surah 551. This is the Sahih. Sahih is correct in Arabic. Sahih International Translation. O you who have believed, do not take the Jews and the Christians as allies. They are in fact allies of one another. And whoever is an ally to them among you, then indeed he is one of them. Indeed, Allah gives not the wrongdoing people, guides not the wrongdoing people. Oops, that doesn't sound very inclusive. It doesn't sound like it's building tolerance. Oh, but it must be an incorrect misunderstanding. If only someone spoke Arabic as a mother tongue. So certainly we know that in Islam we have a clear demarcation between the believers and the kuffar, the non-believers. And therefore, in many instances, you try to create demarcations between those who, as I said, believe versus all the others. And in this case, it's codified even within the holiest of textbooks. Now, I'd like to link that to political and ideological tribalism. Here is Jerry Saltz. I had no idea who this gentleman was until his unbelievable tweet came on my feed through, I guess, some retweet. So this is on October 7th. He's apparently a famous art critic with a pretty sizable following. He certainly seems to have a big platform from which to spew his BS. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and shun any Republican family member you have until this president is gone. You don't need to tell that family member that you are shunning them. Just stand up for your country very close to home. Make it hurt for both of you. Rise, rise. Wow, so inspirational, so inclusive. Of course, I then retweeted his tweet, and I added the following message. Is this diabolical idiot for real? Could someone be so full of ideological hate and rage that they feel that this is a viable trajectory to pursue? This gargantuan schmuck needs to read my forthcoming book when it is published, where I will talk about these kinds of psychological mechanisms. So again, all of these realities, whether they be trying to convince you to join a cult, to be part of a religion, or to belong to a political party, always tries to purify those who believe versus all the other dirty ones. Dirty ones could be people who don't believe in your cult, don't believe in your religion, or don't believe in your ideology. Here's an idea to this art critic idiot. Why not at the next Thanksgiving party have a polite conversation with those who may not share your ideological positions? Maybe they have valid reasons as to why they think on dimensions A, B, C, they prefer Republicans to Democrats. I mean, as I've explained now only 13 trillion times, clearly there are reasons beyond the fact that all Republican voters must be toothless hicks who sleep with their siblings and who are Nazis to explain why they might have voted for Donald Trump. As I explained very clearly using psychology of decision-making principles to explain, this is on the show of with Sam Harris, why people, very reasonable, very sane, very rational people, could have preferred Donald Trump to Hillary Clinton. So an intelligent person, a sophisticated person, and you would think that Mr. Art Critic is the epitome of sophistication, is one who can go to a party and recognize that people come in many ideological bents and engage them, right? This is not trying to engage someone who's a Nazi who wishes to exterminate all Jews. This is someone, maybe a family member, maybe your brother, maybe your sister, maybe your mother or father or grandfather or grandmother, who may have a different view on the world. They may think differently about fiscal policy or foreign policy, or whether the death penalty is appropriate or not, or whether we should have a more open immigration policy or tighten it up. And there are very good, compelling reasons on both sides of any of these issues. So only a fool, only a fascist would be so intolerant of intellectual diversity as to literally argue, he wasn't being facetious, he wasn't being satirical, to literally argue that you should break ties with family members if they are Republicans. What an utter disaster. There's only one hope left. My next book. Get in line to purchase it. Cheers.